Good afternoon, financial professionals. My name is Jennifer Nadeau, case design specialist here at E4 Insurance Services, welcoming you to The Brew, building relationships every week. Thank you for tuning in today. For those of you joining the Brewcast for the first time, we like to kick it off by celebrating what today's National Day is. And today is National Kite Flying Day. It is also National Iowa Day, and another great day, it's National Boy Scout Day. So some great days to celebrate today. On today's brew, we welcome E4 Insurance Services' very own Director of Annuities, Doug Whitty. Doug will be sharing with attendees E4's newest business procedure and how to set your annuity business on fire with Firelight, including where and how to submit business in good order by eliminating unnecessary or outdated forms, obtaining signatures in a timely manner, and much, much more. So we have a great brew in store for you today. As always, please feel free to use the chat box to share your thoughts or ask questions. Also, all attendees are in a drawing for a prize, and we will announce the winner at the end of the call. Thank you again, everyone, for tuning in today. And Mr. Twitty, welcome to the brew. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you. And as an Eagle Scout, I will celebrate the National Boy Scout Day.
How apropos. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you're here to talk about the much anticipated Firelight. We've been talking about it internally and to our partners very much lately. Excited to have you come on and talk to us about it on Brew. I know that you've got a lot of stuff in store for us today, but just in case people don't know, let's just level set. Can you let us know what Firelight is, and then share with us what you have today?
Absolutely. So Firelight is kind of an industry standard e-app platform for annuity business. Mm-hmm. It's one of the defaults that a lot of carriers use internally. So if you're writing e-apps through their portal, most likely you're using a Firelight platform.
Awesome. Okay, great. So a way to submit business online in good order. Can't wait to see it. I know you're going to be giving us a demo today, but I believe, Doug, you have a little bit of a story of how we got here to be able to adopt Firelight. Would you talk to us a little bit about that before we get into it?
Sure. So as I'm sure everybody's aware, interest rates were sky high last year. We were seeing, rates we haven't seen in decades, and annuity business was booming. E4 was above the standard growth. E4, we grew by 63% on premium, and we had 86% more annuity applications in 2022 than we did in 2021. So in order to help keep up with that growth, in order to provide the right type of service to our advisors, to support our new business team, Firelight was something that we truly needed to do to bring all of that together in a fluid manner and hopefully continue to grow. Maybe not quite at 86% each year, but hopefully better than most.
Awesome. So yeah, great growth. Crazy. We talked about that a lot, and we still talk about it. Crazy interest rates last year and what happened with business. Of course, we're certainly happy to have that. I know, though, and our new business partners can definitely attest to this, along with the people who submit the paperwork or the submissions for annuities, that there can be a lot of headaches or involved, or a lot of misses involved. Wouldn't you agree, Doug?
Absolutely. So a lot of the issues that we see with advisors or we hear about are application issues, right? If they ask for an application, you may get the basis of an app, and you may end up missing forms like transfer forms or such. Or on the flip side of that, you may get a completely full package of 90 pages with every possible form that you could need. And if you don't need some of those forms, which you don't, then you're stuck trying to figure out which ones to get rid of and for what reasons, which you do not want to have to deal with. So this will help eliminate all of those issues and more.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that one of the things that we talk about here at E4 and one of the things that we strive to do for all of our customers is to give them a consistent and positive experience. And Firelight certainly is a conduit to that as far as our annuity submissions go.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So why don't we take a look at the system?
Okay, sounds good. Let's get over here. So hopefully you are already using our E4 advisor portal.
Mhm.
If not, go in here, go to advisors.e4.insurance, and you'll get your credentials, of course, from us. And once into our website, we have lots of great items for you to use on all different levels and platforms and sales strategies. But in here, under the dashboard at the bottom, we have e-app with Firelight, and we have our annuity solutions with Firelight. You can click on whichever one you want. And to have that consistency, once you're logged into our portal, that's it. You don't have to worry about your username and password for each individual carrier, depending on which one you're writing. You're automatically logged in. Your data automatically pulls through it as an advisor. So once in here, I want to point out the training tab first. Of course, you can come back and watch this video because it'll be on our YouTube channel. But the training tab does have, it usually has a number of 1 to 2 minute training videos, right? If you click view all videos, there's a whole bunch of things in here. They're all 1 to 2 minutes long. So if you have a specific issue, this is a great place to go to see if it's there. Otherwise, you can watch this or, of course, give us a call. After that, the first thing that I would recommend doing as an advisor is go over to preferences. You're going to have, as I said, some of your data in here. If you typically write annuity business in a specific state, go ahead and set that as a default so you don't have to worry about setting that every single time. Your agent info, you cannot alter because we're going to pull that directly from our CRM into this. So hopefully you don't have to fill out your name and phone number and address and all that stuff over and over again, right? We're trying to simplify the process. And then to further simplify, if you use something like Redtail or Salesforce, you can actually enter your credentials in here and you can tie your database to your Firelight portal. And we'll go into that a little bit more, but it'll allow you to pull your client data through. The home tab, of course, always brings you back to the very beginning. So to dive into it, we can start a new application. I'm not going to do that because of time restraints here. Well, let's just look at it. So when you go in and you have to select your state, whatever it may be, skip over the product type, just word of advice, and go straight to the carrier. You know exactly what you're going to write. And when you click on that specific carrier, it will eliminate all the other carrier options, and then you just pick the product that you want to write. So for time constraint purposes here, I've already kind of pulled one together. All right. When you get into the application, the very first page you're going to see it's not part of the application and never is. It's just something else that we've added, right? An additional feature to help provide benefits. So if you have Salesforce or Redtail and you've got your credentials linked, you can enter in owner, joint owner, annuitant, joint annuitant, because it can all be different info, and it will pull all the info from your database into the Firelight app. So again, hopefully prevent you from having to fill everything out. Very next page will pull you into the application itself. You'll see the progress shoot across the top to help make sure that everything's complete. You're not missing an individual checkbox or filling something small out. And then, of course, you can click the arrows here, and it'll show you all the individual forms that are already embedded into the application. And again, it's going to be the basic forms. And if you click on one of the forms, it'll show you all the pages inside of it. All right, so just to show you a couple of pieces of what I'm talking about, right? If we change the owner to, say, a trust, and we say that we're going to use Nationwide's certification of trust form versus submitting the trust documents, it will automatically include now the certification of trust for deferred annuities into the application. right? Because it wasn't there before. But just for quick purposes, let's eliminate that. And we'll go back to.
So Doug, while you're typing that information in so we can see it, that's really great. So that definitely helps eliminate NIGOs, I would say, or not in good order submissions, because if dependent upon the ownership type, when you're filling it out, the system will automatically populate the forms that are needed to complete that application. That's terrific.
Yep, it's going to give you the right form. It's going to make sure it's the correct state. It's going to make sure it's the most up-to-date form, right? So you're not saving stuff to your desktop. And let's just say we don't have a joint annuitant. The annuitant is the owner, just for simplicity purposes here. And then the beneficiaries. This is a pretty common one that we see. All right, if you notice that there's only 2 slots for primary beneficiaries.
Right.
And a lot of times you might have, say, 4. Right. So if we put in 2 people, excuse the quick typing, just trying to get through here quickly.
Sure.
And as soon as I fill those 2 in and they're not 100%, this all of a sudden lights up red. And it allows me to say, yes, of course, we have additional primary beneficiaries. And just like the trust certification form, once I've said that I need that, it will add in the beneficiary election form, which now allows us to put more primary or contingent beneficiaries into play. So same idea, just to eliminate having to fill that out. We're going to say it's complete. Of course, now the red box is gone. And then I just want to carry it one step further, not going to really dig into it here, but obviously, if I click on a 1035 or a transfer form, lo and behold, the transfer form, the proper transfer form will show up and be required, just as previously before.
Okay.
So it really helps to simplify and bring those forms in, right?
Sure.
So we're not worried about submitting NIGO apps, which of course the carrier is going to take 3 weeks to figure it out and get back with you. And then we're worried about getting with the client, setting up appointments, doing initials and dates, right? All that stuff.
Multiple. I noticed there was a red bubble at the top of the screen. I think you were going to go over that, but maybe.
So it doesn't exist here because everything is filled in.
Yep.
But as you can see, we're at 99% data entry, so we're not completely there yet. And this form here is red, which tells me that something in there is not right, and you can see the exact page number. All right, so where that red bubble comes into play and is beneficial, and here's the bubble that you can see. You might look through this and not realize what you're missing, right? Maybe you can see the red around these 2 boxes, and maybe you can't. All right, maybe your computer's not bright enough, whatever it is. But if you click on this red bubble, it's just a call out, right? It's going to very easily let you know what you're missing. Now, on the flip side of that, if you open this up for the first time and you can't see the paper because it's covered in red bubbles, just click this and they will disappear.
Okay.
Right? So as soon as we check that last box, you're going to get a nice pop-up that automatically lets you know without question that you have filled out everything that needs to be filled out. Now, it doesn't tell you that everything's correct, right? That's part of what we're going to help try to do in the background, but it lets you know it's done. Data entry is 100%, and the continue button is lit up blue. Before we move forward to that, I want to show you another feature that we've paid to have added extra in here, and it's an upload suitability document. It's not really just for suitability, right? You can click this button. You can upload any kind of document that supports the application, whether it's a picture of a driver's license, a trust form, broker-dealer suitabilities, financial statements, whatever it may be. We can add that into the background of the app and then have it sent over directly so it stays together as a package.
Oh, wonderful. Yep.
All right. Once we're done, though, we can continue to the signature slot of page 2. And this is where Firelight really helps to keep that ease of flow of doing business with clients versus setting the appointments or dealing with people that are out of state or going through DocuSign, whether it's acceptable or not. So we can go in here, we can say that we're going to use e-signatures, and it's going to populate all the different required pieces. And here it's just the owner and the advisor. Now,
Okay.
if the owner was a trust, then the owner and the annuitant are different, right? They may be the trustee of the trust, but they still have to sign on behalf of the trust. So you're going to see owner and then you'll see annuitant. And I just want to point out very importantly, when you're signing as the trust, as the trustee, you have to put the words trustee, the title, next to your name. Otherwise, you're signing as yourself, right? So let's remember to put, and you'll get a pop-up in here that'll explain that to you as well. But when you click on owner, we can sign now or send an email request. So very convenient. If the client is with you, you can still use Firelight. If we're sending an email request, you're going to put in the signer's name and email so it knows who it's going to. Your info is already here. It's going to ask for the signer's last four of the social and the date of birth. Now, this is important because it doesn't require the client to have login credentials to sign their app, right? We don't want to burden them down with that, but we do have to have a security measure for them to open it and sign it. And this is the security measure. They're going to have to enter in the last four of the social and the date of birth that match what you gave to allow them to open the application.
So
And then
oh, sorry, Doug, go ahead.
And then we've kind of tailored the subject and the message that'll go out for your client to explain to them to enter that info in. If you want to change it up, you can always click in here and type in anything else that you'd like. What were you going to bring up, Jennifer?
I was just going to reiterate that it looks like the last four in the signer birthday is the authentication, that method, right? To be able to e-sign. And then the other thing I was thinking about too, Doug, is Firelight can be used as a fulfillment, we'll just say as a fulfillment tool to be able to make sure that we have all of the forms that are needed to submit the annuity. Is there a capability to still be able to wet sign the application if somebody wanted to? Because we still have folks that like to do that or prefer to do business like that.
Absolutely. So of course, as it showed in here, you can do the sign now. So it's like a pass off the client sitting next to you. But if we're not doing, I gotta click this to pull back out of it. If you're not going to do any of that, there will be a button up here for more details.
Yeah.
And it'll allow you to download everything that you've done as a PDF. I apologize, my computer's moving kind of slow right here, but it will allow you, there we go. So other actions and display print PDF. So you can download the whole thing as a PDF. The app's totally completed. You know that it's hopefully in good order as best as possible. And then you can wet sign it, scan it, and send it back over to us if that's what you wanted to do.
Perfect.
If you want to handle the e-signatures through here, as soon as all of those are done, you'll get emails back as the advisor saying that the client's finished each individual signature when required. And then you'll be able to come in here and hit finalize and push it through. Now, finalizing it doesn't send it to the carrier, right? This is another layer, right? Because we could do that. We could just have it go directly to the carrier, but it's another layer that E4 has added to try to provide that extra value-added benefit, that better service for our advisors. It's going to come to us. It's going to go to our entire new business team, not just an individual case manager, because if that person's out on vacation, you don't want it sitting there in limbo. It comes to our entire new business team, and our office goes to work, right? Our office is going to look at the advisor on it, the product being written. We're going to confirm that your contracting is in good order, right? Because you can't do an application before contracting. We're going to look to make sure the product training has been completed, because that has to be done. We'll check to make sure E&O is still good. We can look at the NAIC best interest for that specific state you're writing business in. We're going to confirm to the best of our abilities that this application is truly ready to go. And when it goes to the carrier, we won't have issues popping out that aren't in good order.
Excellent. Perfect.
Right. Now, if we see those issues, we can grab them immediately. Right. We can deny it and send it right back to you with notes explaining what we think the issues are. And you can go right back into that app, fix whatever it is. Of course, you have to send it back out for signatures, but if you're doing digital signatures, it's a super easy process. It's actually even very easy to do from a cell phone when you're doing the signatures as a client. So we can get those problems fixed within minutes and get it back in our hands and then over to the carrier. Right? We solve a problem that would have typically taken what 4 or 5 weeks these days, right? And we can fix it within an hour.
With the back and forth, yeah. So between Firelight and the services that we provide here at E4 with our case management team, we are truly providing a virtually seamless process to be able to get the business submitted into
that's the plan.
Years. All right, that's awesome. Thank you for that. If you don't mind, any closing comments before we open it up for questions?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. I know that there's a couple of questions in the chat box that we're going to get to, but I'm just watching the time and also want to make sure that we have time to get those. So while we're waiting to see if there's any final questions, I'd like to remind everyone that you could use your chat box or unmute your line to be able to ask questions, but also remind you that today's brew and our full library are recorded and shared on the Brew blog on our website, which is www.e4.insurance, and this one will certainly be on there as well. And Doug, let's do our giveaway too while we have a second. If you would, of course, do the honors and choose a number between 1 and 20.
Well, let's go with my Eagle Scout age of 17.
17, all right. Oh, David Hinshaw. David, congratulations. You are the winner today. Be on the lookout for a complimentary CE voucher and Starbucks gift card that will be coming your way from all of us here at E4 Insurance Services. So congratulations and thanks for joining. I'm going to take a peek in the chat box right now. We do have a question, and I'm going to paraphrase it. It's about if there were multiple annuity submissions for, let's say, the same owner, is there the ability to be able to copy the information or replicate the information that has already been input into the system?
Absolutely. So from here, we have, again, in the other actions, copy activity, or even after it's complete, you'll be able to look at your activities and make a copy of the application there. And when you copy it, for, name it whatever you want to name it, but you'll have the ability to, this one's going to do it because I'm in the middle of it. If you had completely finished the application, it would actually give you the ability to make a true duplicate like it just did, or it will allow you to select a different carrier and product. So if you've got a client that's buying, say, a MIGA and a fixed indexed annuity, you can do one app, make a copy, it'll transfer all the data as best as possible, and then you can submit it again. So that makes it very, very convenient.
Yes, absolutely. So between the information being pulled from our system with the advisor's information, the ability to tie into different CRMs so it can pull from the advisor's databases, it does absolutely, that's awesome. It seems like less data input, less chance for not in good order submissions, and a better chance for a positive experience. So
yep, and the manage all activities is where you could go to see all of your applications and everything. You can look at the history of all of the info. And then I believe, that copy button here is copy as is or with changes. The copy with changes allows you to pick a whole nother carrier and product. Very easy.
Very easy for sure. And also there's those training videos as well that you mentioned in the beginning. And I love that they were separated into different categories. So you don't have to watch a long, training video. You can just go to the part that you might need some help with to be able to look at that.
I agree.
And
very finely detailed.
Yes, that's fantastic. And I know that you can help if there's any issues. All of us here at E4 can help anyone if they're just getting into the system and have questions. We can't wait for everyone to try it out. Thank you again, Doug. This was great. Really appreciate you coming on today and showing this to us. Excited to hear
Absolutely.
everything back. Excellent session, and thank you again. I think we can close it out. I'm not seeing any other questions in the chat box. So join us next week as we welcome Dale Humphrey with North Star Funding Partners for it's a very special two-part brewcast. For both episodes, Dale will be discussing finance, life insurance, and higher interest rates, with part one focusing on current and anticipated industry conditions, and then part two, he's going to be doing some case studies as well. So that will be an excellent series that we have coming for you. Thank you, everyone, again, so much for joining. Can't wait to hear what you think about Firelight, and we will see you next week on The Brew. Have a great week, everyone. Thank you.